Will it be Manu Kone in the centre of that midfield alongside Tchouaméni? Tonight it's Rabiot. So many questions. There always are, aren't there, ahead of a major tournament. And Deschamps has had that habit of changing things during tournaments anyway. So the chant of Allez les Bleus will set them on their way. Ryan Cherki gets things going. France, I think needless to say, les Bleus are in blue here, kicking from right to left. Côte d'Ivoire in the colours that we expect. The elephants all in that bright orange. Be interesting, that subplot around Saliba. The feeling is that Deschamps quite happy with Upamecano and Konate. Did play together briefly at Leipzig, know each other's game well. There's Upamecano early on, looking for Hernandez for Mbappe. Now then, an instant worry. Top of the foot trodden on. Pain for Mbappe, but hopefully nothing more than that. You start thinking metatarsal very quickly, don't you? And the last thing they need is for him to hobble. He just kicked the bottom of the boot of Seko Fofana. There's Didier Deschamps with Guy Stéphane alongside him. These friendlies ahead of major tournaments, though, always feel fraught with worry, moments like that. Cherki wants the free kick to be taken from the right place, and Wilfried Singo having none of it. Be interesting to watch. Ivoire wins only his second cap for Côte d'Ivoire. They do have Joan Bonny on the bench, who would win his first cap, the former France under-21 international. Both called up to the squad as that swung into the near post, and Ivoire wasn't far away from that. This time Upamecano the player to go down. Emers Faye, formerly of Nantes, so tonight means plenty to him as well. Two coaches who used to play for the club. Faye, of course, part of that incredible turnaround in 2024 in the Africa Cup of Nations, when Jean-Louis Gasset was fired during the tournament. Côte d'Ivoire on the brink of elimination. Faye replaced him, and then they ended up winning the thing against Nigeria in the final. One of the most remarkable modern stories. Here's Mbappe. Nicely done by Jules Koundé, getting involved. Now Aurélien Tchouaméni, and now Adrien Rabiot. Just for a moment, Ivoire was interested, but only for a moment. Diakite went over, fouled by Thuram. There's Seko Fofana. Guilain Conan. Well, the chase is on here, and great bit of running this. Early worries as Yan Diomande, who is very, very quick, the Leipzig player, got away from Upamecano, the Bayern centre-half. Theo Hernandez. Battle between him and Lucas Digne, I would say, for the starting left back place. Still one or two positions up for grabs. You'd say left back, central midfield alongside Chouameni, I think most people expect to start, and then left wing as well. Forward now to Mbappe, but quickly off his line was Yaya Fofana. Fofana clears away. Theo Hernandez. There's Thuram. Ryan Cherki. Upamecano. And now Konate. There's Elise. Chouameni. Rabiot. Wrestling match is ongoing. Free kick goes France's way. Cherki. Here's Kylian Mbappe. Now Rabiot. Oh, beautifully done, and it opens up! Mbappe fires it, good save for Fofana. That Giroud record is going sometime very soon. It's a good stop, that. Catches it cleanly and almost off the right wrist in the end of the Kaiko Rizespor goalkeeper. Upamecano. Mbappe. Well, that's a really poor giveaway to Theo Hernandez. Mbappe's everywhere right now. Côte d'Ivoire struggling to breathe here. Here's Seko Fofana. Rabiot. I love this carnival atmosphere, and they're singing his name. Place that means a lot to him. Chouameni. Now Konate. Picked off again by Seko Fofana, who's reading everything superbly at the moment. Forward by Koundé. Now Elise. Turning on the style a bit, aren't they? Thuram trying to get free. Lots of tricks and flicks here. There's the tifo of Deschamps lifting the World Cup in 1998. Unforgettable night. Chouameni. Of course, much talk about Eduardo Camavinga not in the squad. Chouameni's club mate, but in the end I don't think it was too much of a surprise. That would be the one decision in many ways, the one talking point, as Thuram is hauled over. This is where it becomes hard for referees in matches like this, because you get a league game, it's a yellow card, isn't it, for Diakite, and if you allow too much of that, you don't want to be throwing yellow cards around, but it does break up the game if players feel they can just do that. Elise and Cherki stand over the free kick. Fofana's already made one very good save from Mbappe. Elise wasn't expecting that. Here's Diakite. Kessie. Gela Doué. I know quite a few people who feel that if Gela Doué had chosen France rather than was the guaranteed caps of Côte d'Ivoire, he might well be in the World Cup squad. We'll never know. Winning his 20th cap for Côte d'Ivoire tonight. Here's Elise. Theo Hernandez. Mbappe. The runner there was Rabiot. Now Elise. Elise again. Trying to feed it. Almost a bit over-elaborate there for Rabiot, who goes down. Looked to me like he had his shirt tugged, but probably not enough to award a penalty. We have anyway the VAR to be looking at that. Manuel Schuttengruber. Konate. Cherki. There's Upamecano. Nicely done by Elise. Now Mbappe. It was a good idea from Cherki. It wasn't quite on. It might be now, though, for Thuram. Those quick feet of Cherki trying to work some space. There's Tchouaméni. Now Ryan Cherki. Look at that, dazzling feet again. And then just using the pectoral muscle there. Really clever. Then the referee lets this go. Just when Diakite thought he'd wriggled away. Space was closed down by Upamecano. Given that it's a friendly, albeit a competitive one, the referee determined to let things flow, and I don't mind that. But again, second time, Diakite has just grabbed on like that. He's got to have to show him a yellow card if he keeps doing it. Ibrahima Konate, who we know will leave Liverpool and we suspect will join Real Madrid. Theo Hernandez for Kylian Mbappe. Rabiot. Elise. Feels like a night on which they really want to entertain here, France. Teo. Now Thuram. Sheki. Upamecano. Teo Hernandez. Chouameni and Elise tried to find the runner. Jules Koundé. Given away to Elise. Now Rabiot to drive one. Took a deflection, I think, but that's what Rabiot thought anyway, but behind for a goal kick. Good international goal-scoring record, Adrien Rabiot. 7 in 57 to this point. Not bad for someone who's largely regarded as being a defensive-minded midfield player these days. There's Geladue. Nicely done by Adingra. Now Diakite. Anyway, he thought he was caught there. Interesting character, Eliway, by all accounts not the easiest to deal with at times. He's had more clubs than he ought to have done at the age of 23, but having been suspended for the first leg, a great performance in the second leg for Nice against Saint-Etienne in that promotion-relegation playoff. 2 goals late on in the second game. And his name being shouted from the rafters in Nice. Yan Diamonde down here. Franck Kessie unhappy about the nature of all of that. Ended up being sandwiched, didn't it? That was the one earlier that we wondered whether it might have been a foul. Message from Faye, and Yan Diamonde's a real bright spark of a talent for them at 19, and again the last thing they want is an injury. Look at this. All of the messages for Didier Deschamps, for Dede. He has brought them so much. Well, still concerned about Yan Diamonde. chance for Mbappe maybe, but across comes Singo. Chased down there by Rabiot. Here's Kylian Mbappe. Oh, what a touch that is! Elise couldn't finish it off. But the feet just sensational there as he danced his way through. Geladue now. Conan. Goodness me, that was good. Seko Fofana trying to calm things down. Here's Wilfried Singo. Kessie looking for Geladue. Can he keep it in? Not quite, not quite. Well, it's certainly been lively, as you would have expected. Great action in the stands as well, with all the love for Didier Deschamps. Here's Yaya Fofana. Now Guilain Conan. Elise. Chouameni. Rabiot. Well, time for a cooling break. They're going to have cooling breaks tonight, not because it's especially hot, because they're going to get used to the rhythm of the cooling break ahead of the World Cup, where there will largely be cooling breaks. So, time to take on some liquid for these players. Fofana with much to say. He wants his drink here. They haven't got the right one for him. Deschamps, always been a man of relatively few words. The message calmly got across. No need for shouts and screams and so on. was Elise, just didn't quite get the the power he wanted there. Bit of skill was stunning though, wasn't it? So goalless after 25 minutes. But an awful lot to enjoy. Lovely touch from Mbappe. Here's Theo Hernandez, all one touch, and the final touch just a little wayward. Up to then it was perfection. Now at the other end they try and pick out Ivoire, and they picked out a corner. Would have been just off anyway, but it was all nice, wasn't it? Great to watch, easy on the eye. Seaman Adingra across to take the corner. Decides to go deep, went very deep in the end. Seko Fofana's done really well against Rabiot. He's done really well to tee up the chance. Adingra was always leaning back a little bit. The Ivorian fans enjoying that. Mike Maignan taking his time here. Why not? Theo Hernandez, defender slipped in front of him, allows the channel for him to run into. Cherki too far in front there of Thuram. Thuram looked down there at Gueladoué as if to say, what was that challenge all about? But he's allowed to make a tackle. Nothing wrong with it. France can build again. Kanate. Long now for Jules Koundé. Here's Theo. Chouameni. Theo Hernandez. Lovely touch there from Marcus Thuram, and back here for Theo. Chouameni. Now Marcus Thuram. Here's Theo Hernandez, and here's Marcus Thuram, and here's the opening goal, is it? No! Cherki decided not to hit it first time. Tried to be a touch too clever there, and ended up paying the price. I think he had a chance to hit that first time. Rabiot, Koundé, now Elise, Mbappe, Cherki, just wide of the near post this time. France getting closer, France starting to crank up the pressure. Deflected through for the corner. Waiting for someone to make a run here, trying to communicate something there. Darted into the near post and a punch away, and now Mbappe. Oh, tees it up beautifully and headed wide. Lovely idea, great movement. Kanate in the end with the final touch. There it was. I think he thought the path was blocked, you know, and I'm not sure it was. Gone high, he might have scored. Côte d'Ivoire will be quite happy so far. They've managed to contain France, and remember, all of those big names are on the bench. It was just, there was a feeling, only had a couple of days back in training, that the likes of Dembele, well, he's the one that jumps out, Doué as well, wouldn't necessarily feature. Barcola, another option. I'm sure we'll see Akliouche and Mateta at some point. Here's Gela Doué. Rabiot caught there. Oh, strong challenge, caught on the back of the head initially. And so the dance continues, and why not? It's always one of the great features, it really is. Faye, fairly happy with the organisation that he's seen so far. Commitment, nothing wrong with that either. Now Mignon with plenty of time, and not quite sure he made the most of it there, did he? Upamecano. Off they go for a warm-up. Great fanfare. See Maxence Lacroix there of Crystal Palace, one of the 8 who won a European trophy this season. How thrilled he must be to be in this squad. Here's Mbappe. Cherki. Here's Theo Hernandez. Now Diakite. Let's do it. There's Cherki. Well, it's promised goals, hasn't it? Largely from a French perspective. Fofana made that good early save from Mbappe. Elise then went close. Cherki probably should have scored. At the moment we are goal-free in Nantes. There's Upamecano. Chouameni. Here's Rabiot. Now Upamecano. Ryan Cherki. I think the fact that France stopped led to the referee awarding the free kick. Elise just had a look, the crowd trying to keep themselves entertained. The challenge was from Yan Diamonde. Thankfully, by the way, he looks okay as they take it quickly. Caught their own teammates out a bit there. Cherki. Oh, look at that. Sublime idea. And the header palmed away. Chouameni with the effort. Fofana with, that was in all honesty a comfortable save, but it's still great skill from Cherki. And there he goes again. Looked like he was clipped there to me. They might want to have a look at that. Now on the counter comes Eliwai. The France fans still think there might have been something in that challenge on Cherki. Elise, Mbappe, chance for him to run clear. Singo did so well as the game just explodes into life. Geladue. From Kessie. Diakite. Obviously nothing in that challenge. We're not looking at anything. It's in the arms of Mike Maignan. Here's Rabiot. Oh, he's lost out. Now then, chance for Côte d'Ivoire. Chance for Adingra, turned round the post by Mike Maignan. What a chance though, what a moment. Chouameni caught in possession. Just got his fingertips onto it. Didn't get enough power in the finish, Adingra, did he? Yan Diamonde to take. Here comes Rabiot. Kessie. There's Geladue. Diakite was off again. And then Teo is clipped. Game's rather lost its shape. Diakite is extremely fortunate not to have been booked on 3 or 4 occasions now. Here goes Mbappe. Elise. Now Teo. They managed to smuggle it behind. Cherki to take. Cherki maybe to hit one here, he does! Palmed away for Fana, back in Elise, hooked away at the far post. Still there's a France threat though. And guess who, as Cherki finds a way! He's been hammering on the door, and finally he bursts it open. What a finish! What feet again from Ryan Cherki. Second goal for his country, and it's wonderfully well taken. His shot there, and then he never gave up. Look at that, a little drag back, and this time he found a way past Fofana. Splendid finish in the end. Through a crowd it came. Fofana could do nothing. He enjoyed that. Well, 3 minutes to be added. There is a check, I think. MSI is unhappy about something, but check's over. But to be honest, there wasn't an official check anyway. They just had a look, as they always do. Here's Koundé. Oh, Koundé's been dispossessed, and then that might be the first yellow card. It normally would be. They've taken it quickly. Referee's over. And because he's over, he stops play. Here we go. In fairness, Kessie needs to be careful there, and the referee's right. Bang in the mouth, and yeah, if he's not right, he has to just take the break. You don't often see that, though. My apologies to him, I thought he'd slipped, I didn't realise there was contact. It's also very difficult when you're not expecting it to really rattle you. I think it'd be nice if Kessie went over and apologised, but we're okay to carry on, I think. Here's the goal again. Or is it just his divine feet? No, that's the cross from earlier. Some talent, isn't he? Yeah. Could bang on the side of the jaw, so still we're waiting for the Austrian referee to... He's going to get some medical attention now. Mbappe's looking after him. Good captain. They're not happy that we broke up an attack. It's okay, he just needs to calm down a minute, the referee. It's fine, he's had an impact injury. He just needs a break and a glass of water and just to recover. I think it's fine, nothing wrong with it. It's important that he's okay. Looks like it's good spirits down there, largely. Deschamps with a big smile. Here it is again. It's Kessie. As I said, it would have been nice if Kessie... I think Kessie thinks it's a France player. I don't think he thinks it's the referee. It would have been nice if we'd seen him go over and apologise, but he didn't. Anyway, we're back underway. Fofana was suggesting Kessie was pushed into the referee. I think we got fairly definitive evidence that he wasn't. Anyway, referee's okay, we continue. Ryan Cherki with the only goal of the game. Super one as well. That could all do with a break, couldn't we? Everyone needs to calm down, referee needs to recover. Côte d'Ivoire need to work out a way they're going to trouble Mike Maignan, which they haven't really been able to, apart from that one moment. The Dingra denied with a good fingertip save from the France goalkeeper. We tick now into the 6th added minute. Here's Doué. Now Franck Kessie. And there is the half-time whistle. So Mr. Gieshammer can go and make sure he's okay. Ryan Cherki was more than okay with a lovely finish as we went into added time at the end of the first half. Then that surreal moment when Kessie caught the referee, who looks to be okay. And half-time, it's France 1, Côte d'Ivoire 0. Makes way, so no need for France fans to worry about him. Olivier Giroud's record lasts on its own for another international. Anyway, he stays. Amad Diallo, an interesting addition as well. A bit of quality here for Côte d'Ivoire. Diakite, he should have been booked at least once in the first half. One of those to go off. Adingra the other. So we're ready to resume. France having made 5 changes, Côte d'Ivoire 2. Pepe has so much quality. 8 goals last season for Villarreal. Anyway, we're back underway. Confirmation of all of those changes. Here's Conan. Interesting, that battle between Theo Hernandez and Luca Dean. That's the one position. Talked to a few experts and they're genuinely split on it. I think most people expect Tchouaméni, Rabiot, the centre of that midfield, and Désiré Doué to start on the left, but that's the one that catches people out, and that was a little late and a little high from Luca Dean on Amad. Let's have another look at that. Yeah, it's just on the top of the boot, isn't it? There's Emmanuel Agbadou of Besiktas, formerly of Wolverhampton Wanderers, the centre-half. They've got a solid squad heading for their 4th World Cup, out in the group stage in 06, in 2010 and 2014. They hope for better. Ecuador, Germany, Curacao, you feel that gives them a chance. Pepe didn't quite have a chance there. French substitutes led by Malo Gusto. Up towards Mateta. Then Thuram. Now Dean trying to make a positive contribution. There's Amad. Always takes a while for a game to rediscover its rhythm after that many changes, no matter how well the players know each other. And talking of that, that's a general feeling about this France squad as well ahead of the World Cup, that the sense that there are so many friendships in and around the squad. Of course, so many stories over the years of France squads falling out during World Cups. Don't think that's going to happen this time. They may not end up being good enough, we'll see, but won't be for want of team spirit, I don't think. Koundé just retrieves that. Suddenly a bit more of a threat from Côte d'Ivoire with Pepe and Diallo. Goal from Ryan Cherki as we ticked into added time at the end of the first half. It was a gem of a goal. Interesting, the makeup of the France squad. As I said in the first half, there weren't too many surprises. The big news really was Camavinga's absence and all the jokes about Mbappe not wanting him there, which was very much tongue-in-cheek. The one area that I might look at in forward areas, I just wonder, could they have gone for bit of a wild card finisher type, someone who might catch fire in the World Cup. More on that in a moment. Here's Koundé. Will pull back in towards Akliouche. Now Cherki. I mean, obviously that would be seen as being harsh. There's Dembele watching on. I don't think we're going to see him. That would have been seen as being very tough on Mateta or Thuram, but someone like Junior Krupi, raw pace and finishing ability, great form, that kind of thing. Are they a bit too staid and settled? I don't know. Deschamps knows them better than me. Had some bad luck, Côte d'Ivoire. 06, that World Cup debut. Argentina, Serbia and Montenegro and the Netherlands. It was a horrible group for them. Lost narrowly against Argentina and the Netherlands, and then dramatic win against Serbia and Montenegro from 2 down to win it. And in 2010 it was Brazil, Portugal and North Korea. Drew with Portugal, lost to Brazil, beat North Korea, but Portugal and Brazil played out that 0-0 draw to knock them out. And then 2014 was even worse. Colombia, Greece and Japan. Beat Japan, lost to Colombia, and then that late penalty conceded against Greece that cost them their place in the knockout stages. They'll hope that their luck may turn. Can't help but like Côte d'Ivoire with the history and the style of play. Great fans as well. Oh, terrific ball through, flag stays down, this for the equaliser. Ice cool Guéla-Doué. What a moment for him as his kid brother watches on. Côte d'Ivoire level. He's not meant to be the finisher in the family, but he took this supremely. He's onside, all right. Third international goal, and how well he takes it. Konate slipping and sliding, and he bides his time and picks his spot, and it's never in doubt. He gives the goalkeeper the eyes. Suddenly we've got a game. And they love that, the Ivorian fans. Ahmad's shirt is back on. And the noise for the first time is all coming from those Côte d'Ivoire fans. Fantastic. Conte caught in possession suddenly. Côte d'Ivoire look on top. Agbadou. Now Conan. Having made 5 changes at half-time, they need to be a bit careful here. France, no Mbappe to save them. Here's Akliouche, who's barely touched the ball since coming on. Now Conte, and here's Luca Dean. Across to deny Thuram. Is Wilfried Singo. He will have enjoyed that so much. And despite being on the France bench, his brother was smiling. It wouldn't have been if it had been a World Cup semi-final, but I think tonight it's okay. Dean. Got the angles wrong there, Thuram. There's that ball again. There's that finish again. It's a really smart striker's finish. Drags it one way. Eyes are all over the opposite corner and then pulls it back, and then fantastic athleticism to be able to kick the corner flag like that. MS Faye will be delighted. Here they come again. Ahmad. Lacroix. They need their experienced heads like N'Golo Conte just to calm this down a bit here, France. Koundé. Called by Akliouche. Ateta might have been offside, but we continue. There's Akliouche again for Koundé. Now Cherki. Konate. Trying to regain control here. Conte. Rabiot. Here's Lacroix. Rather bounced off Luca Dean. And here they come again, and the flag stays down again. Ahmad Lacroix across to deny him. Superb bit of defending that. Just for a moment they were struggling. Suddenly looks an interesting game, doesn't it? France just controlling it, but not much control now. Big smiles between Mbappe and Theo. A bit of pressure there for a moment was Kanate. Akliouche. Floated in towards Mateta. Kind of knocked things up for a moment there was Fofana. Here's Mateta again. And that's behind for a France corner. Further changes to come. Malo Gusto was getting ready. Here's Akliouche. Yeah, that will just rest in the arms of the goalkeeper. Kwadio Kone prepares to come on, and further multiple changes for Côte d'Ivoire, which will further break up the game. Still been an interesting one though. Ryan Cherki and Gela Doué with the goals. There's Agbadou. Conte, Mateta. France looking to find a way back in front. Thuram, goalkeeper had given up, but just wide of that near post. As you can see, Kone and Gusto coming on. Here's Pepe. Yan Diamonde. All that pace and trickery, and couldn't find a way through. Here's Conte. Giving themselves a chance, aren't they? But that's dragged wide, really, by Eliwai. Conte. Dean. That Senegal game to kick off France's World Cup campaign in New Jersey is going to be something very, very special. And then that Norway match in Foxborough is not easy. If you look at the group games for them, they've got, I mean, the Iraq game in Philadelphia, you would, with due respect, expect them to win, but Senegal have given them nightmares before, famously. And Norway, well, we know they've got goals in them, don't we? Cherki. Here's Guilain Conan. Got the runner free again here. Upamecano gets back. See why he had made that run, trying to find space. They think there was a hand there. Pepe with the cross. Dembele and Doué watch on. I don't think we're going to see them. Lunch with the president a couple of days ago. Michel Macron made his way to Clairefontaine. Had a nice lunch with the Champions League winners. There's Fofana. Now Diamonde. Rabiot does his job. 25 minutes left here in Nantes. Cherki turns on the style, but not too intelligently. Fofana can hit one, but was always hooking wide of the near post. And he's entertaining the crowd, and you can't blame him. Here come those changes, 3 of them again. Luca Hernandez in the background. It'll be Koundé, Kanate and Rabiot. Kone, I think, see Malo Gusto come on, but Kone was outstanding in their qualifying campaign in the centre of that midfield. I think he'd be unlucky not to start. There's Luca Hernandez. Further changes here. See Ibrahim Songare of Nottingham Forest making his way on. Bazumana Touré of Hoffenheim. Christopher Aperi of Istanbul, Başakşehir. Whole host of changes, why he makes way. Christina Ulai of Trabzonspor, another player coming on. Joan Boni is on the bench. The Inter Milan player. Made waves at Parma and then settling into life at Inter. Former France under-21 international. Here's a Perry. And again, 5th in the league, Istanbul Başakşehir under Nuri Sahin. Perry part of that journey. There's Manu Kone. quarter of the game. Exchange of goals. Cherki right at the end of the first half, and then Geladue 8 minutes into the second. Bonny has come on. Missed that in amongst all of the changes. So he makes his debut here. Thrilling talent. Guessond on as well. So 5 changes in the last 20 minutes or so from Emerse Faye. Complet. Kone. Hernandez. Back with Kone. Clever turn that from Mateta, did really well. Now Yaya Fofana. France with 2 wins in the previous 3 against Côte d'Ivoire, but African side pushing for the win here. The old saying when you talk to ex-players, there's no such thing as a friendly game. It's felt a bit like that in the second half as we head for our second cooling break. Reminder, not necessarily because of the temperature here, but to get into a rhythm of the games in the World Cup. So, final instructions. Some of the players, of course, have just come on, don't really need to rehydrate. There's the Côte d'Ivoire goal scorer, Geladue. Pignon, the number 1, Brice Samba, Ren, the number 2, and Robin Rissa, the Lens goalkeeper, the uncapped Lens goalkeeper, also in the squad. No Lucas Chevalier. Ice on the knee there, but can be precautionary just to keep the swelling down. It doesn't necessarily mean it's anything to worry about. Of France's starters, Thuram, Cherki still out there, Maignan as well. Here's a Perry. Now Singo. Look for that long diagonal towards Bazumana Toure. 5 goals for Hoffenheim last Bundesliga season. 5th they finished in the Bundesliga under Christian Ilzer. Deschamps and Stefan make their journey down to the technical area, and now Singo will make his way off. Just a little worry there, a bit of a niggle maybe. Ousmane Diomande of Sporting Lisbon to come on. Looks like Warren Zaïre-Emery's going to make an appearance as well. Yes, he is. So now a couple of Paris Saint-Germain players are going to be on in Hernandez and Warren Zaïre-Emery. Nice idea, this, the really big stadia, Nantes and Lens, Lille, these kind of places, when they host the national side, it's so special. That's a good hit. Now Conte, but he pondered the opportunity for too long. Here's a Perry. It must buoy the players so much, though, to be effectively sung off on their World Cup journey by these passionate fans. There's Lacroix. Kone. Lacroix. That's a wayward ball, it needed that challenge. Luca Hernandez with an excellent saving tackle there. There's Mateta. Cherki for Akliouche. Goalkeeper got his knee onto that. I think the flag went up retrospectively. And here comes Warren Zaïre-Emery. Cherki's been excellent, scorer of France's goal. I don't think he's played his way into the first team, but he's going to be a relevant, significant figure at the World Cup for sure. He's a pure entertainer. Let's hope he never loses that inclination. Forward by a Perry, given away. Now Bazumana Toure trying to chase clear of Kone. Here's Dean. A little reverse was on there to Dean, but this is Kone. Malo Gusto. Luca Hernandez. Lacroix. There's Fofana. Now Conte. Here's Akliouche. Luca Dean. Zaire Emery. There's Akliouche for Malo Gusto, and now space for N'Golo Kanté. It's fired back into Zaire Emery. It should be a corner, I think, yeah. As we head for the final 10 minutes here. Since they qualified for the World Cup, they've beaten Brazil in Foxborough, Colombia in Maryland. They'd like to keep that run of wins going. Troubled by Iceland in that qualifying campaign, certainly. That's an easy one. They fancied the match-up there, but his service wasn't great. Sangare gives it away. Dean had a look up. He's got time to pick the cross here. Here's Ahmad, he loses out, now Akliouche, now Mateta. Conte waited for the challenge and wins the corner. They don't think that's right. They think they nicked it off him, but it will be a France corner. France look to finish with a flourish. Swung by Akliouche. And again, Magnus Akliouche. Tried to come around and win that. Here's that cross from Luca Dean. Thuram climbing. Looks like Thuram's going to play the 90. Bazemana Touré. Pepe. Opens up now! Ahmad might just have won it for Côte d'Ivoire! What a thrill for the Ivorian fans! What a finish from Ahmad! That was seriously special. Sheer, undiluted joy in the stands at the Stade de la Beaujoire. Clever finish. Geller up again to lead the celebrations. The last time France were beaten was in that Nations League semi-final. A year ago tomorrow, beaten by Spain 5-4, you might remember, came from 5-1 down. A day short of a year on, they're 5 minutes away from being beaten again. Sixth international goal for the brilliant Ahmad. And Deschamps wants a reaction. They looked like they were cruising. They maybe believed that they were cruising. Looking for a momentous win here. Remember, whatever the circumstances, for Côte d'Ivoire to beat France be hugely special, and he knows it too. Three minutes of the 90 remain. Look at those Ivorian fans. They played 3 times before this. The best Côte d'Ivoire managed was a 0-0 draw in November 2016. This would be their first ever win against France. And here they come again, Pepe on the charge. They want another here. They might just have another. It's set up and it's pushed over by Bazumana Touré. Look at the reaction in the stands. Bonny it was who set it up. Thuram didn't make the 90. Bradley Barcola is on, having to play some of the Paris Saint-Germain cards here. Pretty sure the plan was not to do that. Lacroix. Back with Maignan. Luca Hernandez. When Cherki gave France the lead on the stroke of half-time, we did not expect this. Final minute now of the 90. There'll be a fair bit added because of the substitutions. Keep it in, he did. There's Ahmad, and he's given it away. Dean, and that's going to rebound behind for a France corner. Barcola got himself involved. We tick now over the 90. 5 to be added. Good defensive header, it sets them forward as well. Bazumana Toure. Oh, he's overhit it, has he? What a shame. Dean. Zaire Emery. Akliouche now. And Dean, and the goalkeeper grabs it. More than just a regular friendly, this, given the history of the countries. This would be a momentous result. This turns it into a story. Both France being beaten in a World Cup build-up, but also a wondrous win for Côte d'Ivoire, first ever against France. What momentum for them to take into a World Cup as well. Don't ever knock that. You underestimate that. Yeah, he won't be happy. Winning's a habit and all that. Black stays down. Looking for a bit of icing on the cake here. This might be it, but it's deflected through. A shot from a Perry who got into a central position. Picked out by Bonny. Remain. Barcola. pulled across, and Kone's effort settles into the arms of Yahya Fofana. Dean just overhits it. Complet stepped up bravely there. Agbadou, and now Pepe. Pepe's made a real difference since he came on. Here's Ahmad with the trick. Côte d'Ivoire are nearly there. He knows there are challenges to come, but this would be some win. Zaire Emery. As we move over the 5, and Côte d'Ivoire beat France for the very first time. And now the celebrations can begin in Nantes. Cherki gave France the lead on the stroke of half-time, but Doué, big brother of Desiré, and then Ahmad turned it round. What a night in Nantes for Côte d'Ivoire. It finishes remarkably. France 1, Côte d'Ivoire 2.